Today, we are diving into a really unique worldview, one that comes from the book A Vision of the Good. It's all based on the perspective of a young woman named Christina Von Dreien, and believe me, it offers a pretty radical reimagining of, well, pretty much everything, from our purpose here on Earth to the entire future of humanity. So, let's dive in. Right off the bat, the book opens with this really powerful quote from Christina, honoring the generations that came before. And it immediately makes you ask, right? Who are these pioneers she's talking about? And what on earth makes children like me so different? This one sentence really sets the stage for a story that is so much bigger than just one person's life. So that's the big question we're starting with. According to the book, Christina is part of a whole new wave of souls being born on Earth, and each one has a specific mission. But to really get what that mission is, we first have to understand the messenger herself. Okay, so our guide on this journey is Christina. The book describes her as someone who was born with this vastly expanded consciousness, someone who, right from birth, could apparently remember her cosmic origins and perceive dimensions way beyond our normal five senses. And you know, what's so fascinating is that right alongside these incredible abilities, the text says she describes herself as being, well, kind of clumsy with everyday things like cooking or crafts. It's a small detail, sure, but it makes her feel so much more human, more relatable. It's like her focus is just tuned to a completely different frequency. So, what is that other frequency? This is where this whole worldview really starts to challenge our day-to-day understanding of reality. It's built on a foundation of unseen energies, hidden structures, a whole multi-dimensional world. Let's break down some of the key parts. First up, we've got the aura, which is a concept a lot of us have probably heard of. The book describes it as this electromagnetic field that surrounds all of us. But it's way more than just a pretty glow. For someone who can actually see it, it's like a living, breathing blueprint of your emotional and spiritual health. Then there's the emotional body. Think of it like an energetic hard drive for every single feeling you've ever had. And the core idea here is that the emotions we don't fully process, they don't just disappear. They get stored in this field, and according to the text, we carry them with us from one lifetime to the next. It's basically the foundation of what some people would call karma. And just like there's a body for our emotions, there's also a mental body. This is where all our thoughts, our beliefs, and our deep-seated patterns are stored. So when you put it all together, the aura, the emotional body, and the mental body, they create this completely unique, energetic signature for every single soul. So where does all this information actually get stored? The book points to something it calls the Akashic Records. The best way to think about it is like a cosmic library or maybe a universal cloud server that holds the data for everything that has ever happened, is happening, or will happen. But access isn't just open to everyone. The text suggests it's granted based on a soul's level of spiritual development. So how does all this information travel on this cosmic internet? The answer, according to the book, is something called plasma. It's described as the fourth state of matter, and it forms these invisible threads that connect literally everything in existence. It's like a nervous system for the entire universe. And from this point of view, something like telepathy isn't magic at all. It's just tapping into these natural, already existing connections. Okay, so if reality is truly this vast and interconnected thing, why does our daily life so often feel, well, fragmented, chaotic, and pretty limited? This is where the book gets into a really sharp critique of the systems that shape our modern world.
And at the absolute heart of this critique is a central conflict, the battle between our own innate free will and these external forces that, according to the text, try to control it. This quote frames free will not just as some human right, but as the most powerful spiritual force we have.
So, according to this worldview, this manipulation happens on a whole bunch of different fronts. It points to things like mass media that thrive on fear, history books that only tell part of the story, and a scientific paradigm that just dismisses anything it can't physically measure. It even brings up the alleged suppression of world-changing technologies, like Nikola Tesla's work on free energy, as a way to keep things just as they are. And this really gets to the core of it. The source claims that our modern education and information systems are basically designed to put us in a box. By presenting this very narrow slice of reality as the whole truth, they kind of discourage us from asking those bigger questions about who we really are and what we're truly capable of. But this is not a story of doom and gloom. Not at all. The book argues that humanity is at this absolutely pivotal turning point, and the solution it proposes isn't to go out and fight the external systems, but to fundamentally transform ourselves from the inside out. So, what does that inner transformation actually look like? Well, the book lays out a path that's all about personal responsibility. It's about raising your own energy, connecting with people who are on the same wavelength, seeking information beyond the usual channels, and using practices like meditation. And crucially, it also talks about supporting these so-called new children, who are apparently here to help anchor this whole change. And to put all of this into an even grander context, the book claims we're at the end of a massive 26,000-year cosmic cycle. So in this view, what's happening right now isn't just another decade of change. It is a rare cosmic window for a huge leap in humanity's evolution. The psychological key to this whole transformation is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound: acceptance. The logic here is that fighting against reality, against what is, just drains our energy. But by accepting our current situation without judgment, we get that energy back and can use it to build something new. So, what does this new Earth, this world built on a higher consciousness, actually look like? The book doesn't just talk in vague ideas. It paints a really detailed and pretty inspiring vision for our future. Let's start with just our physical environment. The architecture of the future is described as being in perfect harmony with nature. In fact, the book suggests buildings won't be made of concrete and steel at all, but will literally be constructed from sound, light, and sacred geometry. The education system would be completely different. I mean, forget standardized tests and constant competition. The new model is all about intuitive learning, helping each person discover their own unique talents. The curriculum itself would expand to include things like consciousness and universal laws. The goal completely shifts from just memorizing information to developing our full human potential. This comparison really just boils it all down, doesn't it? It's a move away from a world that's driven by survival, by competition, by external authority, and toward a whole new paradigm that's built on passion, collaboration, and our own inner guidance. Ultimately, all of these big cosmic ideas come down to this one simple, powerful piece of advice: trust your inner voice. In this worldview, your heart isn't just where you feel emotions, it is your direct line to your soul. So we'll leave you with this final thought-provoking question from the book. It takes this huge cosmic vision and makes it deeply personal, asking you to look beyond all the limitations you think you have. What would you do? What would you create if you were completely and truly free?